SoundSplore's showcase with We Found New Music. Very happy to be here today. For our indie music marketing panel, from listeners to fans. I'm Gabby Kachalani, I'm your moderator. I am president, founder of the Gray Administration. I have a 20-year background in A&R and publishing. I've had positions at Universal Music, EMI Music Publishing, Bump Into Genius, Warner Chappell. And very excited to be here. And we are going to do some intros. I'll let each of our fantastic panelists start with a little background on themselves as well.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming. I'm Jasmine Valencia, we can call me Jazz or Jazzy. I run JV Agency, we're a music marketing agency. I started in the music industry as an intern at Def Jam. Jay-Z was my boss on my first day. I had to run an errand for him. So that's how I started the music, so obviously a great start. And I stayed there until I left to start my company 11 years ago. Now we're celebrating our 11th year this year, which is very exciting. A women-led team. And we work with independent artists, artist signed to labels, majors and independent labels. And we also work with music and tech companies. And we help you get your album, tour, single, whatever it is that you're working on up to your audience, create a fan base, and just get you out there into the world so people can listen to your amazing music.
Woo. Hey, thank you, Jazz.
Hi guys, I'm Derek Unlimited. I'm an independent artist out here in LA. I don't really know what else to add. I've been singing since I was 10. I studied music at USC. I'm a voice teacher also in the area.
Hi, I'm Giselle. I'm a singer-songwriter, musician, artist. Same as you, don't know what to say, but I do that, music, yay, and happy to be here.
That's a lot to say, that's great. I'd love to start with the artist. Tell us a little bit about where you are in your career right now and what building your audience looks like for you both today.
Okay. Hi. Giselle again, hi. So for me right now, I just released my third album on August 4th, so that's where I am right now in my career. You collab. Thank you. So I've been really excited about that. I'm currently performing a lot, just focusing on building myself as an artist and continuing to grow and building a fan base. And that's where I'm at right now musically. Was there another part to that? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and what building your audience looks like for you today.
Oh yeah, for me it's a mix of social media and obviously going to events like this, networking, meeting other artists and like-minded people, and meeting new people who will hopefully give a listen to my music.
I say for me, I don't want to say like I'm a newer artist because I feel like I've been doing this for like a cute little minute, but I just released my first song under this artist name in February of this year, and then I'm currently working on a music video that we're filming on Saturday that'll hopefully go out September, whatever the month after September is. I'm trying to find it right now. And yeah, and I think as far as like growing my fans, I think the biggest thing is doing events like this, or just like honestly, like I perform at like 4 different clubs in LA, so just like doing that and having people be like, oh my god, wait, you're cool, and I'm like, girl, you're cool, now come see a show. But yeah, that's what I'd say. Did I answer the question?
Yes, absolutely. An emerging and independent artist. What makes you think there's something that we can build on?
I think the main thing for us is it's okay if your brand's not figured out yet. It's okay if you still want to like experiment with your sound. For me, the biggest thing is like that you are passionate about it and that you're willing to put in the work. So that's super important. Like what you're doing right now, like meeting people, telling people about your new releases, that's like putting in the work, right? And it's brick by brick that you have to build it, and step by step to really like grow an audience that will connect with you. So for us is making sure that, hey, there's a vision there. How do we make it where an audience will want to be part of your vision and part of your world? So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at your goals. What is it that you want to achieve, right? Like think of it if you were like trying out for the Olympics, you would have to have certain goalposts that you have to hit along the way. So in a similar way, that's what we're doing when we're like looking to work with artists and we're talking to them. Like, what are your goals for the next 6 months? What are your goals for the next year? And then kind of work backwards from it. So it's okay if you haven't figured out your branding or your style or you're unsure about something, because all that stuff we figure it out together and we get there together.
And then how far, you said 6 months a year, but how far in advance would you say are you figuring out and planning?
I would say as much as time as possible is the best way to do it, because when you have more time, you have more time to think and brainstorm and be creative, and there's new technologies coming out every day, right? New things to try. So the more leeway that you have, the better. But obviously sometimes, an idea hits and it's like, oh my God, we should do this tomorrow. And then if you can pull it together and execute it, why not? But if you have the luxury of having the time to plan ahead, let's use that luxury and plan and have a proper rollout and a proper timeline to work with.
Yeah, just being at Universal on the major side, and I've also repped independent artists, I've seen people wait till last minute for everything. I think the more time you can plan, the better the execution that way. And I think if you want to do something in 2 months, you should always like triple it, so plan.
Because you can plan so much and like the universe can do things your way, right? Like, we
all the variables that you
can't control. So like plan as much as you can as far as in advance as possible, and then you can tweak and make changes along the way, but at least your core mission or purpose is still there, even if there's changes that happen.
Absolutely, yeah. This is for everybody. So there's a big difference between someone hearing your song and actually becoming a fan once they hear it. Well, what have you found turns a casual listener into somebody who really wants to follow your journey, both from your perspective and the artist?
Okay, it's me again. So I've noticed making fans and people who are not just one-time listeners but want to hear more music, it's if you're very personable. So if they can know you as a person and they know your character and even your moral compass, where you stand on topics, stuff like that, that actually helps a lot, because people are like, oh wait, I actually like this person, not just their music. So when people get to know you as a person, that locks them in. They're like, okay, wait, I want to see you grow as a person, but I also want to hear your music grow too. I've noticed for me personally, I've noticed that a lot. We all went through COVID, so I made a TikTok account, for example, and I've definitely, as a person, grown since I made that account, but even musically I have. And to find people from all over the world who reach out and go, you've grown a lot, both individually and musically, that means a lot to me. And I think that is the most important when you're putting music out there, is to make sure that you show who you are in your true colors and just be someone that people can connect with, because then they actually care to see not just your musical journey but who you are. And I think that's so important as an artist, because your music is you and you are your music, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm from Alabama, so I was trying to let the lady speak first. But I'd say I'm not gonna piggyback too much off of that because that was literally perfectly said. I'd say definitely being personable, but also I found in my own experience, people want to be a part of something and people want to experience what you're doing. So being open enough to let people in with boundaries, because everybody don't even know your business. Okay, take boundaries, but I definitely say letting people in your world a little bit and showing people people kind of wanting to experience what you as a person and your art is a big thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what both of you said. One thing that we do for all of our artist campaigns, if any artists in the room, something I welcome you to try. For every campaign that you do, try to have a philanthropic side to it, something that you are very passionate about and you believe in. That will get the audience to connect with you a little bit better, because it's like, oh wow, you care about an animal rescue place, or whatever the cause might be. They can connect with you in a different level outside of your music. So that's something that we do with all of our campaigns. We suggest our artists to, what is something that you're passionate about outside of music that helps you give back to the community. So it's also a win-win for everybody. It's not always hey, go stream my music, go buy this merch, go buy a ticket. It's hey, let's do something that's helping somebody else. That's something that we do that artists seem to enjoy, and the audience seems to enjoy as well. The fans love it. They're like, oh, that was...
Speaking of posting, this is one of my favorite questions. What do you recommend? How often should artists post? And how often do you post? And how do you feel like that works for you, for the artists?
I get this question all the time. So the answer I always give artists is, what is realistically sustainable to you as a human being, right? I can tell you post 20 times a day, but let's be honest, if that's not realistic for you, you're never gonna do it, so what's the point? So what is the right amount for you that you feel okay with? Like, you also have to watch your mental health. You don't want to be scrolling all day long, right? That's also very important. So what is sustainable to you as an artist? It's like I equate it to going to the gym. You know, like if I tell you to go to the gym and you're like not feeling it, you're not gonna work out, so what's the point? So it's the same thing. It's like, instead of posting 20 bad posts, maybe make 3 really good ones, and that makes a real difference. So that's what I advise. Do what's sustainable to you as a human being. As an artist, it's important because it's 2026. This is how we communicate with our fans. Yes, still do it, but don't overthink it. Don't try to be like, oh, I need to post every day at 12 p.m. That's never gonna work for you because you're gonna miss it more than half the time.
I feel like, yeah, like, I try not personally to like overstress myself with posting. If I get a good clip when I'm out, awesome. If I don't, I found, because there was like a phase where I was like posting all the time and it wasn't doing what I wanted to do, but then when I really was putting like the things that were like, oh, I'm really proud of this, that's what took off. So I think to any artist listening or any artist, like, don't try so hard to do it just because that's what you feel like everyone else is doing. Like, do your thing, be you, don't be anybody else.
I'm gonna be so real. There's a spider. So 1 second. It's right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it flew away or something, but we saved the day. Yay! You can clap for the spider. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it was a tiny little. I just didn't want to go on you. I'm sorry. You were talking. I'm like watching it. I'm like, oh no.
I'm saying y'all fake as hell. You don't tell me.
Oh, me too. Oh, sorry. Anyways, for me, you know, this is a great question because I find myself, I'll put myself in this weird loop. Like when I was younger, I was like, 3 times a day. You have to do it 3 times. I'm like, no, that's not realistic. Nobody wants to see my face 3 times a day. I don't want to see my face 3 times a day. So I do once a day. I try to do scheduling that wasn't working. I'm like, it will get out there as long as it's before noon. I've done it. But there's days it's at 2 p.m. But it is what it is. But for me, I feel like it's easy to just go, here's Instagram's post, TikTok, Facebook. I'm done. And I put it away. And it keeps me mentally stable. So. Yeah.
I will that there are people who want to see your face 3 times a day,
oh,
and they're out there.
Okay.
So that's.
Say hi. Let's see your face.
So you know, when you're thinking of like posting, there are people that want you to post. So you know, keep that in mind too, right? So like, you gotta give the people what they want.
True.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, just a little.
So for everyone, again, what's one marketing tactic, piece of content, collaboration, or other idea that has actually worked while posting and sharing on social media?
Okay, hi. So for me, okay, it's gonna be a long answer. I'm so sorry. So I really, really love all things Halloween. I love like horror movies, horror books, everything like that. So I finally was like, why don't I take the deep dive and just like incorporate horror into my music? Because like I love it a lot. And it's not every song, but like I have a song, for example, called Vampire, and I was like, we're just gonna go crazy. I'm gonna have blood coming out of my mouth. I literally got teeth molded. I'm like, I'm just gonna jump into this because this is what I love, and if I show another part of me, maybe that will connect with fans. So like Vampire, Final Girl, I was like, we'll make a small film, and like I do get stabbed and die. Spoiler warning, but you know, but just like kind of just being yourself. Not just like thinking about content for Instagram, stuff like that, but like for the bigger picture of like how you want a music video to be and to connect with fans. I've noticed just diving into like maybe like not necessarily niche, but just other things that maybe you don't notice other artists doing as much, because so many people love horror, but we don't see a lot of horror music videos. So it's like, why don't we put out more? And I encourage any artist here who likes Halloween or anything, like put that out, because I noticed when I did that, that like picked up. People were like, oh, this is so bloody, I love it. And I'm like, me too. So that worked for me. Yeah.
Giselle, this is your time right now.
I know.
And I went to the store, it's everywhere. Like I'm seeing it on the show, I was like, so early, but this is your time.
It's my time. Every day's Halloween, folks. All right.
I think I'd say like the biggest thing I think that has worked for me is like with music marketing stuff, it's just like attaching some form of like media to it, whether that's like the visual, like a visualizer, or if you can like doing a music video, or just like having good photos from the shoot you use for the album cover, just something that attaches. What am I trying to say? Something like an image or just something that really attaches itself to the music that people, when they see it, are like, oh, that's such and such band, that's such and such. I think is super effective personally.
So I've done a lot of campaigns, and what works for one artist does not work for another artist. So that's first and foremost. And you hit it right in the head what you said, because like Halloween was authentic to you, right? So that's what really works. What's authentic to you? One of the things that we do is we literally write down what are some of the pages on Instagram that you follow and love. Like, they don't have to be music or art, it can be anything, right? Because that gets to know like your personality, your taste, what do you like, the things that you do outside of music. If you're not in the studio recording a song or writing lyrics, what is it that you're doing outside of it? It could be fashion, it could be, you know, a million things, right? And we take those things and we incorporate that into the strategy. And that can be with collaborations, like you just said, like you started doing these things, like maybe there's another account out there that's really into spooky season and you guys can do a collaboration, and that will be authentic because it's what you really love. So right now collaborations, you know, like obviously Instagram has those great features, YouTube has it as well. So doing things that feel authentic to you, but maximizing the features and the tools of these platforms. That's what's really working well right now, because then, you know, you're giving the platform what they're asking you to do, right? Because they created this feature or tool for you, they want you to use it, and then you're still doing things that are authentic to you, so fans can actually connect with what you're doing because it's real.
Jasmine, so independent artists came to you with great records, small budget. What would you use that for and recommend?
Yeah, the first thing is, where I said earlier, like figuring out where we're at and where we want to be, and then working backwards with that budget. So it's like, let's be realistic. Everybody would love to, like, well, not everybody, but a lot of artists would like to have like a really big music video, like production where it's like 20 grand for the location alone, right? But let's be realistic, that's not always gonna happen. So having just hard conversations with the artist, it's like, this is your budget. Do we want to spend it on one piece of content, or do we want to spend it on maybe 50 pieces of content? So that's the conversation that we're having. Do we also want to leave some money for advertising, right? Because yes, you're going to push it organically, but we want to get some views from people that may have never heard of you. So like figuring those things out with the money available, that's a big part of your strategy. And then the real answer will depend on a case by case, depending on those specific things that the artist wants to accomplish. But something that I would recommend everybody to set some budget aside for advertising. You're gonna get your content in front of new people that have never heard of you. I always say marketing starts at home. Like, send it to all your friends and family. Do a little like shameless plug, like, hey, just watch this, share this around. You know, that goes a long way. Also because it's, you know, think about it, if a friend ever recommended something to you, you're more likely to listen to it or pay attention to it. So that's like a free way of doing some marketing for you. It's always not always great to asking everybody like, hey, go stream this for me, but every now and then it's okay to do. And then things that like really matter, obviously content is so important. So like making sure you have some sort of budget to have a decent amount of content for your rollout. A lot of artists just focus on one music video and then that's it. And it's like, the music video looks really nice and is well produced, but then what do you go from there? There's nowhere to go after that. So just in this month, like 2026, this is kind of what I would focus on.
Awesome, thank you. So for the artists who are part of SoundSplore family, how has SoundSplore helped you reach people, make connections, create opportunities that you might not have had otherwise?
So I personally owe a lot of gratitude, love, appreciation, just all of the things to the SoundSplore family. I'm the New Moon Cohorts winner for their competition, so and personally that money is going into this music video I'm doing, but also they're so like hands-on, but in a way that's not like overbearing. They're like there to support you, they're there to help you take the help, and like they give you the tools. Really, like if you take those tools, like anybody can do what I did. Anybody can I just do anything, and I think that man, I don't know. They're just the best. They're just the best in the game. I don't know.
Yeah, I personally really enjoyed my time with SoundSplore. I found out about SoundSplore through Grant from We Found a Music. Yay, Grant! Yay! You And it's been a really great journey. I mean, they do everything to cultivate a space for us where we all feel included as independent artists, which is really important. Of course, we get it. We had to put our stuff on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. But to be in a place where it's literally just us and we don't have to compete with like, I love The Weeknd, but like The Weeknd, like, you know, you see me, you see The Weeknd, you're going to The Weeknd, I would too. You know, so it's nice though to be in a place where we don't have to like worry about, oh, okay, well, this huge artist is out here, they just put out an album, who's gonna look at mine? Whereas SoundSplore is like literally for the artist and for the fans. Like our fans are there and they're like, yay, you put out an album, I can listen to it. And there's no ads on SoundSplore too, so that's great. And like people don't like hearing that during Spotify or anything like that. So I think it's been a really great space. It's also helped me personally meet a lot of other artists and like-minded people, and I've really enjoyed my time. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and kind of what else, any kind of specific moments that kind of are unique that you've gotten out of being on SoundSplore?
I remember getting like tipped by like a fan, like a person I've literally never met before for the first time, and just like Juliet calling me like, Derek, you got like $10 from this like random guy, I think in like Minnesota. And I was just like, that's a real place. But then I was like, okay, that's awesome. Like that's awesome. Like I love that. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, the tip feature is super cool because people can just literally tip the artist directly, and I've had that too. And it's like, it's so meaningful because it's like, I don't know if you guys realize, but we live in a culture where people don't want to tip. So it's a little scary out here, even when you perform and if you have out like your little cut, people don't want to do it. So the fact that SoundSplore is like, come on, just tip your artist, just do it. And people actually do it because they want to support you, and I think that's really cool. And there's no other platform that has that feature. I also want to add too, merch. Like on my own end, I have merch, but I also have exclusive SoundSplore merch, and so like that opens up a window of opportunities to fans. And when Juliet had reached out to me about like the first merch opportunity, I was like, yeah, let's do it, because then fans who like, it's also more affordable too. So fans who weren't able to get some of my other merch possibly, they're like, wait, I can do this, and that like felt really changing for me because I was giving like, it was more accessible for people, and that made me really, really happy. And then for like you, like to know that someone in Minnesota can tip you is like, whoa, it touches your heart. You're like, oh, people are listening to you, and yeah, it's really cool.
And also I'd say too, sorry not to interject, but the feature that they have where they can just like feature any of the artists at any time's thing to like help promote it is just also like so incredible and like so helpful when you're like starting out as an independent artist to like just be like, okay, here's an artist you guys have never heard before. Listen, people will be in Minnesota and tip you from stuff like that. So it's crazy.
Do you know what city in Minnesota? No, that's cool. Jasmine.
I don't know geography like that.
Jasmine, from a marketing perspective, what do communities and platforms like SoundSplore, how do they fit into the independent artist overall strategy?
Yeah, I think it's a great funnel to build an audience because it's kind of skipping the algorithm world that we're living in, right? They're going directly to the fans. There's not an algorithm saying like, you should like this or you should listen to this. It's just like basically a community that is listening to good music because it's being presented to them. So it's a good like middle of the funnel where it's like you obviously have your social media, which we need. You have tools like this and platforms like this that are putting you in front of the right audience as well. And then we of course have the algorithmic playlist from Spotify, etc., and you know, the necessary evil, I guess. You know, so yeah, I think they're great. I think more artists should be using tools and platforms to connect with fans directly. I think people rely a lot on Instagram and TikTok for the algorithmic and like, oh, I want my video to go viral, or we hear that all the time. But it's like, you could go viral, doesn't mean you're going to create a fan base, right? So nurturing those relationships with everything that we talked about is really important. That makes it easier to do. Yes.
I think we have one more question, then we can open it up to the audience for some questions if anybody has any. For an independent artist who we all, I think, feel a little overwhelmed by all the marketing, the social media these days, what is one thing, this is for everybody, that you would tell them that they should start doing tomorrow?
You might have heard this before, but if you don't have an email list, please do that. It's so important to have a way to contact your fan base, and if you're trying to sell something, you get more sales off an email list for your merch tickets than any other platform. So if you don't have that, please do that. It's really important. We kind of saw it when TikTok went away for a minute. A few months ago, and people were like, oh my God, all my TikTok followers, what do? I have no way of contacting them. Well, if you have an email email list, you have a way of contacting them. So things that you own and control as much as possible, so you still have that communication with your fan base when you can't rely on a tool that you don't necessarily own.
I feel like my biggest advice, honestly, like, especially because we're all like in LA, there's so many artists popping up every day. I'd say honestly, like, take your time and like log into your craft and log into figuring out your strategies and branding stuff before you just push out too much stuff, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like a lot of artists, new artists fall into a habit where they're like, I gotta get on this algorithm, I gotta put stuff out, I gotta put a song out every Wednesday for the next like 10 years or whatever. And I feel like so many people, more people would be better off if they took a second, you know, still post your stuff. You still gotta be kind of like out there and in front of people, but like log into what you're doing and figure out where you want to go, and don't like wander aimlessly and just hope that you're gonna get there. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, definitely to piggyback a little bit. I was gonna agree with that because there's no point getting like locked into something that you can't commit to, first of all, and to something that's not true to yourself. So to be true to yourself and who you are as an artist. I think that's the most important thing. So like tomorrow, if you wake up and you're like, I want to post, even if it's a cover, even if it's not your own song, do it the way that you want to sing it and just go for it. Like, stop overthinking so much. Like, if I could tell other artists, because I've been doing this since I was 5. Okay, so like I tell other artists, just be who you are, just be yourself, because they'll come to you, they'll love that, they'll love your energy. And then I guess from like the strategic point of things, email list, yes, I've had one since I was in high school. I'm like, I have a show. So it's important to have that because it grows beyond. I mean, the numbers on there are always going to be even bigger sometimes for, you know, smaller artists like us or independent artists. The numbers over there are going to be bigger because, like you said, TikTok at any moment can go, Instagram can go, any of these things can go, but you want to make sure you have that consistent contact with your fan base. So I would say, yeah, get up, be yourself, don't lock into something crazy, post a video tomorrow, I'll go like it, let me know your Instagram, okay, and get an emailing list. So I agree with them, and be yourself.
That's great. I would just add one thing, and that's handle your business and be organized. It's so important to have your songs, like, you know, organize the metadata, the splits, you know, the agreements, make sure your business is handled. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna open it up to questions. Does anybody have any questions for our panelists?
Just make one up.
Hi.
This is for both artists, for both of you. What inspires you to keep going? Because it is tough, and I do think you probably have to be very passionate about music and your music. What inspires you guys to keep going?
I feel like I look back a lot to how I was as a kid, and like realizing that I didn't, at the time, there was like not a lot of artists who were like me. There was not a lot of like out black, gay, queer music artists. Now we got Duran, my fave, and all these other awesome people, Frank Ocean and stuff, but like at the time, they weren't doing what I wanted to do. So for me, it's like remembering that there's like one day going to be, I've had experiences too where there's like younger gay kids who come up to me and they're like, oh my god, like, I love what you're doing, like, this is like, that for me is like what really keeps me going, is being like, there's someone I can change life with my music or teaching or whatever it is. If I can make an impact on someone, that's my whole life's purpose. That's what I said.
For me, music has always just been my truest form. You know, that might sound a little corny or whatever, but it's just my happiest place. I've always found joy in it. I've always found purpose, and I feel like that is my life's purpose. So who would I be to give up on something that feels like it's everything, it's inside of me, it's something I cannot let go. No matter how hard it is, how many no's you get, how many doors close, there's going to be so many more doors that will open, and I just keep pushing forward for those doors to keep opening. For me too, and from my background as a kid, I grew up bullied, and this was my escape. Before I spoke, I was singing, and it was just always the thing that just kept pushing me and making me happy in life, no matter how hard things were. I also learned very young that music can make people who might hate you for whatever reason love you, even if it's for one day. like music connects people. And once I learned that power of it, I was like, oh, I gotta keep doing this. But not for selfish reasons, okay? But genuinely to connect with other people and to speak about my emotions, to speak about other people's emotions, and to make a space that I wish so desperately I had as a child. I want to create that for other people, but musically. So.
Can I just say one thing about that? On the no matter how many no's you get, I feel like this is a business of no's. Like really, like, and it doesn't matter. The no's don't matter. You can have 100 no's, you know, and just one yes, and that yes is all that matters. It doesn't matter. You're gonna get no's all the time, so you kind of have to get used to it, and you will get that yes the more shots on goal you have. Yeah. Anybody else?
We don't bite y'all. Well, I don't.
I don't bite either.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming early. Thank our panelists.